Everyone, welcome back to the Plunder Den. And this week we are in AdeptiCon 2025 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You can see it in the background here. Got a little bit of Milwaukee. Definitely an awesome location, and we're going to do all sorts of stuff. We're going to take a look at all the different gaming events, the vendor hall. And you know, there'll be other videos about the swag bag. I did a demonstration with Rufus for blood and bayonets, and all sorts of stuff that I did on the channel. So let's go check it out. So I figured I'd start off by showing you images of the Baird Center, the new location for AdeptiCon in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And so I just actually filmed these on several different days, just kind of some images of the center itself. I did get there the day before AdeptiCon started. I really wanted to take my time so I can get around. I did get involved with the content creator meet and greet this time, so I was there a little bit early. But you can see AdeptiCon's at its early stages, just setting up tables and rooms and just getting it all organized in here. And really, nothing has quite started yet. But I just wanted to show you what it looked like, the calm before the storm, really. This center definitely has a lot more space, a lot more lighting, as you can see. This is a beautiful part of the building. It has the old section and the new section, but it looks like the whole thing's been pretty well renovated. And lots of space to play games. The only thing I would say is sometimes it was challenging to find where certain things were because there was so many things split up between the old building and the new building. One floor had the Golden Demon on it. This is before any of the entries came up. They had the showcases ready and the signs up. The historicals were all up at the top floor. So here's images of the top floor area. A beautiful view up here, and the historicals are in that main hall there. But you have this terrace that you can walk out on and really check out Milwaukee. Beautiful view up here. This is the day before the con started, and it was so nice that day. We had a couple of rainy days throughout the week, but that first day was amazing. And this happens to be where the content meet and greet was. It was actually in this area. That's where they decided to hold it. And here are some images of the inside of where the historicals were, so the inside of that room. So I headed back down to the main floor, watched the guys play Lunar for a while, and waiting just to get upstairs to the content creator meet and greet. And I have to say I really enjoyed this event. Get a chance to meet some of the people that I watch on YouTube, and just people that are like-minded, you know, a lot of the same interests, which I found very interesting to have chats with them and how they got involved in the hobby. I met people like Zombies and Witty and Tim Bailey and Scott McKay, Jeremy from Black Magic Craft, Uncle Adam, a lot of different content creators and just fans of the channels. It was really an awesome experience, and I would definitely go back to that. So then after that, I headed down the floor to get my name badge and my swag bag. And I figured this would be a good time to take a look at that. So this is me just going through that bag. This is the bag it came in. It's just a black AdeptiCon bag. This is the program for the event. It was really cool to see a picture of my terrain in there on the Firelock Games page, which was really awesome to see in this catalog. So you get that in there. I got this Star Wars Shatterpoint. It's like a squad, some Jedis and some Clone Warriors, which is a really cool little set. I don't really play Star Wars, but it's a very neat little set. You'll see you got a bolt action squad and some instructions for it in here. So that was a neat little pack. I do play some bolt action, so this could come in handy. And that's what you get when you get the swag bag. You never know what you're going to get inside there. So we got a deck of cards, a Malifaux deck of cards, which is really cool. It says Adepticon on the back of it. And that looks like a new miniature from War Machine. I really like their booth. It was much more expanded this year. I guess it's under new ownership now, so there's a whole bunch of new things there. Looks like a painting cup, which is kind of cool. It's got little edges to hold your brushes in and a place to clean your brush on the bottom. And this game, not for me. To be honest, I can't even read the logo on it. Yeah, I'm not sure what that says, but it looks like it's kind of some futuristic game. This is Firelock Games editions. There's a coupon in there, and it looks like you get a drunken sailor. It looks kind of like Jack Sparrow. It looks like, and then Victoria Miniatures always has one in these sets, which is really awesome. I really enjoy her miniatures. Crisis Protocol. We got a little 2-person unit here. And again, something else I don't really play, but really cool miniatures. Arsenal, I'm not sure what this is. It's a booster pack of something, so I'll have to look at that. Badger Games, you got looks like a goblin, and I still have my goblins from the last time I came. I'm starting to build a collection of Badger Game goblins. There's the pin for this year's Adepticon, the coaster. And looks like we got a base here from, looks like Eric Hobby, which is really cool. Battletech, a whole unit here. It's like 5 mechs here. I ended up giving this away. I don't play that. And same with the Star Wars Legion terrain. Some of these things I just couldn't fit back in my luggage on the way back, so I ended up giving away some of this stuff to other people. And this was the big one, the Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Like this is a whole, has the instructions how to play Age of Sigmar in it. It's got 2 full armies in here. It's got a game board to play on. Like this is crazy. This whole set was crazy. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this thing. To be honest, I'm not a Warhammer player. But those Skaven little rats look pretty cool, actually. Even if I use them for a different game, I might just paint those up and make them for something else. And then I got this Smuggler's Den big, huge box of terrain as well. So quite a bit in the swag bag this year. Definitely pretty awesome. All right, so now I moved into the vendor fair and the vendor hall here. So this is pretty much makes up most of the rest of the video, is checking out different areas of the vendor hall. So this is actually similar to when I walked through 2 years ago, when I walked through the Marvel Crisis booth, and this is Star Wars. They had Star Wars Legion going on here. And on that side of the hall was all the tournament play for those games happening right next door. If you go on the far side, it actually had the Warhammer side, and we're going to get there in a minute, but we're going to go through all the other booths on this side first and check them out. So just the same lineup as last time. Table Wars was next to the Firelock Games booth. They didn't have Badger Games next to them last time, but they do this time. But first we had Table Wars there, which is I really love Table Wars as mats. So here's the Firelock Games booth. There's Drew doing some Blood and Plunder demoing at the table here, which is really cool. People can try out the game. And let's take a look at what's in the booth. So you had lots of the new Barkalonga, all the new instruction manuals for all the different games, a lot of the sprues for the new miniatures. They had the new edition of Oak and Iron. There's some 6-rate frigates they had, some barks, and of course a lot of the Oak and Iron expansions, the 2-player starter set, and then the Port Royale box set. And there's my game table. They were using it for demoing the game, which is totally awesome to see at the booth here. And really cool. So here's some more images. I took quite a few different shots of the Firelock Games booth. Different angles. There's Mike. He was in there, periodically in there helping out. And, just talking to people about Port Royale and some of the games in there. And there's actually quite a few people switching in and out of the booth, so Mike actually had some more time this year to work, to go upstairs, not necessarily work, but hang out with the other guys upstairs in tournament play and stuff. So there's more shots of the table and of Mike at the Firelock Games booth. Amazing booths as usual. Lots of cool things to look at and purchase. I definitely spent some time in here getting a few things myself. That's actually the new starter boxes, which I took a picture of that. It has all the new resin miniatures instead of the metal ones, but they're a little bit smaller, sleeker boxes for the resin miniatures. All right, so let's take a look around the vendor hall. This is kind of a mixture of me walking around and a mixture of the photos. So some of the booths I actually took extra photos of, and some of them I just walked by. You can see this is the Warlord booth. It's always quite large. Get around it. They had all sorts of stuff going on here. Different games, a big full wall of different product that you can pick from. And really you could just walk right behind them, and they were doing demos out front, and then they have other games you can look at in the back. I was on the hunt for some Napoleonic miniatures for Blood and Bayonets, but I didn't really find what I wanted here, so I might look at maybe Perry miniatures, but not exactly what I was looking for in this booth, but I was hoping to find something maybe in the Warlord booth. And looking at this is another demo that they were running. So again, they had some different things being run at the table there. But really cool booth, a lot of cool product, a lot of cool things to look at. So then I came up on this giant miniature. I think he's a blown up version of a smaller miniature that's in the booth here. And I'm not familiar with this company. You're going to find there's a lot of, I've never heard of this game, but the miniatures for it are really awesome. So it looks like it was Primal Blood. This must be a game series, but look at these miniatures. They are super cool. And that's like a smaller version of the one that was out front in that glass showcase. They were running demos in here, but I didn't really have time to go through a demo at this booth. But if I had a little more time, I probably would have, because it did look very interesting, and I really did think the miniatures looked really really interesting, as you can see. Quite cool miniatures. So I'm not sure what the game is about, but I got some ideas maybe. Yeah, so this is the same booth, but on the other reverse side. They had other stuff over here, other miniatures on this. I don't know if it's related to the same game, but it looked like it, because it was all connected in one booth. They had kind of demo tables in the center, and then they had product on either side. And of course they had it painted up for you to see what it looked like on either side. Like this mask, it looks awesome. I'm not sure what it's for. Maybe it's just a display. I have no idea, but some of these look like they're just busts that you would paint or whatever. But look at these miniatures. They're super awesome. This polar bear is really cool. Really cool, different looking miniatures here. So then I passed that booth, which was quite large, and then found some of my favorite things, terrain. This is the building authority, or the miniature building authority, and this is some of their stuff they had on. They usually have a pretty long booth too, with all sorts of cool stuff. I kind of stopped and looked at this multi-floored kind of office building thing they had going on here. This is really cool.
That's crazy. That's awesome. Wow.
How are you today? Doing well. Yeah, that is cool.
Oh, no, you're fine. That thing was cool too.
Yeah.
It's a very cool booth. A lot of awesome terrain to look at, and they always have really cool stuff to look at at their booth. And a wide variety of terrain. It's even got some animals and some other things, scatter bits, castle pieces. Yeah, it was really cool booth. And I'm not sure what these guys were, but they were kind of neat. Took a closer image of those. Yeah, they look like zombie soldiers and animals or whatever. But really neat. So then I went to the Trench Works and the Victoria Miniatures booth. I really wanted to get some close-up pictures of some of these miniatures. They're so awesome. I really enjoy her miniatures. and trench work, the work they do as well. Overall, really love this booth, and you could see all sorts of cool things in here. So I tried to get some pictures in here and walked. It was always really crowded in there, as it should be. It's really cool stuff. But I did manage to get a picture with Dave from Trenchworks before I left the booth there, which is awesome. All right, so what I found in the theme in this year's AdeptiCon was, and it might have happened in last year's. I didn't go last year's, but there was a real large increase in these large casted miniatures. And different companies doing it. There were so many ones in here that I'm not familiar with, but they were all amazing. Like some of these sculpts were just amazing, and it was super cool to see all these different varieties. Like you can see, look at the. I tried to record as many as I could because they were so neat.
Good.
Yeah, so this is one of the companies that I went to. There's a few along the way here. You'll see that there's just large casts, kind of like Creature Cast, really, but different companies that are making similar products, busts and large creatures and animals, and really cool casts. And so if you were looking for that this year at AdeptiCon, you definitely would have found several booths where you could see several cool miniatures. And we're going to stop and look at a bunch of them. I think I recorded virtually every one of them, and because they were so neat. So speaking of one, here's another one. Again, really cool. Looks like Mind Works Studio. Take a quick look at these. Like they got some terrain in the background with the miniature itself. Like it's just whole little pieces that you just want to paint, right? So just like a scene, or not even just a person or something or a creature, but kind of adding the terrain element to it. But look at these. These are so cool. Big orcs and dwarves, and nice variety to pick from. You just want to do a bust here. There's got some large heads here. All sorts of neat things. We got a frog. But here's some close-up pictures of some of them. Nice variety to pick from. I'm sure if you went to their site, there would be just countless more similar to these, and they're really neat. I just want to paint some of them up because they look so neat. So I moved on to another one. I was trying to bunch some of these together, and here's another company that makes large casts as well. Yeah, very, very interesting. Name of the company is Journeyman Miniatures, and another booth of these casted miniatures. Here's some close-ups of these ones. Again, look at these. These are pretty epic casts. And some of them, they had some of them painted up, which is really awesome. See, visualize how they are. So there was a booth promoting 3D printing, and it was kind of interesting. Those coins, they're actually 3D printed, and apparently you can add a metallic of sort to the cast. So you get these, they have made up all these Adepticon coins, which is really interesting that you can add that to the 3D printer material, I guess, and get kind of a coin look from a 3D printed image. So that's pretty neat. So this is Reaper Bones. Now I went around this booth a few different places. They have their painting section where they just have miniatures open for anybody to come up and paint, which is great for the family. Just come sit down, paint some minis. But their booth has all sorts of different stuff all the way around it. So there's different images from different sides of this booth when I ran across it. But here's some closes up of their casts. So they had a bunch of casts out as well, which are really, really neat. So then we went by Talon Games. They had some bases. They make some mech kind of robots and stuff like that too. But we went over here and checked out some of these little small miniatures in here. Oh, it's really cool. I was trying to get them all on camera. I'm trying to going by so fast. I did take some pictures of some of them so you get a little bit of closer look. And that's what like I said, I tried to do on every booth, was just try to take some pictures of everything, just so you can see kind of again. And there's some more casts. So yeah, lots of that going on this year at Adepticon. But I love it. They're all really cool. They're awesome. I love when they have them all painted up, and you can see how amazing they look. And I'm not really into doing that myself as a hobby, but I can see the appeal. And I might end up being down the road. I might end up getting involved in this. I've been getting better and better at painting, and I almost feel that I could potentially do something like that now. And it might be something interesting just to practice and get better in my painting skills. I mostly paint little miniatures, but I would really love to paint these large ones as well. So here's just some more images of me going around the booths at Adepticon. Again, some of these things I don't know what they are, but I just figured I'd record as much as I possibly could. Now, I have to say, it was a little more challenging this time around. It was busier, let's put it that way. There was a lot more space, don't get me wrong, but it was a lot busier in the vendor hall than the previous years I've gone. It was really tight. There's some cardboard terrain, which is really cool. You can put together. And then, of course, I stopped at every diorama that I could find and take pictures of it and take some photos of it. This is so cool. Nowhere else I'd rather be. Just walking around aimlessly around the vendor hall, looking at things that catch my eye, and looking at all the demos and all the different games, and it really every genre you could possibly imagine is in here. You could find something here. If you're interested in cowboys, there's a game. If you're interested in fantasy, there's tons of games. Historical games in here. And if you're looking for terrain, there's lots of terrain options. As we're walking by here, some more terrain options. Actually, this set right here is the one I got in the swag bag, which is pretty cool. At Smuggler's Den, as a neat little terrain set, which was a really interesting thing. It's a little more different, so maybe it was an MDF, kind of like a stronger kind of hardboard, and pulled together that way. Seen a lot more of that nowadays, and that's kind of what Firelock Games did with their Port Royal set. I really do like that kind of fold-up terrain. That's really neat. There's another display, another table that I had to get images of. All right, next up is the Mini Wargaming booth. It's Mini Wargame Dave, and they're promoting Ravish Star, which is a really cool-looking game. I looked at it 2 Adepticons ago in their early stages. As you can see, there's massive armies on the table, which I wouldn't expect anything less from these guys. There's Matthew talking to customers. Really cool booths, all sorts of cool miniatures to look at. They had the full line out so you could see them all. If I just had more room in my luggage, but I don't. I can only bring so much back. But these guys are based out of Canada, so there's opportunity to order the stuff through Canada. But a really, really awesome booth, and lots of product, lots of things to look at. You can see it's grown quite a bit from 2 years ago when I filmed their booth, and it's really neat to see. You gotta support those Canadian companies. All right, so we got a Mantic booth on the other side of the wall here. Let's see if we get around. I guess I don't go around. Keep walking. Here is the area I was talking about earlier. The Star Wars Armada, Legion, X-Wing is all being played in here. They had some of it televised in the main tables there. I've heard that some of these things are going to be the last time that they're at Adepticon, or in general. I don't know if they're doing any more like championships or tournament play. But there is some of the podcasts and stuff that are going on here for this event. It's was quite a large event. Now over there is Marvel Crisis Protocol. They also had that in this area as well. And like I said, this side of the vendor hall was these 2 companies. There's a little cosplay. I did get a few people's costumes this time. I was kind of disappointed I didn't do it last year. And there was quite a few people dressed up again this year, which is really cool to see. I always liked the cosplay. Anyways, that was the Star Wars area. Let's get back and do some terrain tables, Japanese inspired, which is really cool. Castles and game event. Then I came across this, looks like an oil rig of sort. Which is really awesome. This is like one of my favorite displays in the entire thing. It's really well painted. I love the crashing water on it. So cool. Very cool. I had to get pictures of that. So then we're at the Dwarven Forge. I had some conversations with the people at the Dwarven Forge talking about the cool terrain. They got these cool little lights that they can plug in and out of their terrain. And all the different cool accessories they build. We got in discussions about some of the stuff I built on my channel and the stuff I scratch built, which is really cool.
Really easy to
talk with them about that. And then they showed me some of the lights here, so you can see the little lanterns. By the way, this is all like super cool. For an amazing display.
Yeah, it's just like two little pins in the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So then, and you don't even need a lantern really, but if you want to change which lantern goes in, you can. Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of this over here is from our Cities Untold Lowtown that was just launched in the web store.
Okay.
This is the castle build. We've had castles for a long time. The outdoor stuff is our wildland system and our caverns outdoor Aranthor system. We also have some ruin stuff. We have some dungeons. We have all kinds of stuff. Hell Street.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. Lots of cool stuff. Now, it's good just to add components too if you just want something quick to add something else. Sometimes you just...
We have like floor foggers where the chimney will make smoke, and then we have like that light puck in that door over there, if you can see.
This is really neat too. Yeah, the plant life over there, that's awesome too. That's the name of the company right there, Dwarven Forge. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, really cool stuff.
That was absolutely an epic looking booth. That was really cool. So then we moved on my trek through the vendor hall. And again, you can see how busy it was. I did film this whole process over several days. And I'm not sure what this is, but for Nexus, but it's really cool. Some kind of beastie guy with weapons. He was actually quite large on the table. It was a pretty big miniature. Caught my eye. I was walking by there. I think this is Bushido. I covered them the last AdeptiCon, and again, they have amazing miniatures. Still some of my favorite miniatures that I've seen is these Bushido ones. They did have some different ones in here that I haven't seen before, which is really cool. Again, I can only be involved in so many things, but that's definitely a game that's I've thought of. I like samurais and stuff like that. It's something cool to get involved in. So moving around to this other side. I'm coming up to the Wargaming company, and they deal in the smaller Napoleonic kind of miniatures. They have all sorts of terrain for it, as well as large epic battle maps, and Battle of Waterloo and stuff like that. And they have a lot of cool terrain for that on that booth. This is Arena. I've seen this before. It's been around for a bit, and always cool to see the different miniatures that they have for that game. Gladiatorial kind of games. It's really neat. So then I got to the Black Magic Craft booth for Idols of Torment. And I did not film the whole thing, but I did sit here and watch the demo of the table for a while. I met Jeremy the day before at the meet and greet, and I was wanting to come down here, and this is a game that I've been interested in. It's something that involves a lot of terrain building, which is right up my alley. I love to build terrain, so and I like the ideas that you can use whatever miniatures, and it seemed like something that I wanted to get involved in. So I did end up getting that starter set he's got up front there, and I'm going to take a look further into this game. It's not something that I normally do. Like, I usually am into historicals and stuff, but I do like to dabble in other things. So these are some of the miniatures that they had for it, and some pictures from the booth. So that was really cool booth as well. So here we go. We got the creature caster. I showed you all those other casting companies, and Creature Caster is it's a Canadian-based company, and they make, of course, amazing sculpts. And they have been doing it for years. And their booth is always super busy, as it should be, because it's so cool. Lots of cool things. They have painting competitions every year. That's another thing I was going to mention. There's the Golden Demon, and that's more Games Workshop. But some of these other companies run their own painting competitions, and they have their own display cases here with all the miniatures that are in competition with each other for their other things. I think this is the Resin Beast. I think is the competition they have at the Creature Caster booth, but. I think I do a total circle here. I go past the Turbo Dork. And there's the showcases. Kind of a long way around to get around people to get to them. But looking at some of the entries into this Resin Beast, and they're super cool. I mean, these are awesome. Yeah, I like that there's more than just one painting competition. There's all sorts of painting competitions for showcasing different miniatures. And I can see people absolutely love building these. They're kind of like little small dioramas, and kind of what I've been looking around the actual whole, this one's actually cool. I gotta stop here. This one's a little mouse and cheese and stuff and some grapes. Anyways, they're just all sorts of neat little displays and dioramas here, and I really appreciated this. I do have coverage of the Golden Demon too, but I wanted to take some pictures of this Resin Beast. So I did last time too when I was at AdeptiCon. I really appreciate all the different miniatures they have. Really cool.
That's kind of what I did is I blew up that one to
Yeah, look at that one. Look at that. That's
that was
amazing.
only a biomancer or something.
So cool. Here's a few pics of some of my favorites that were in the showcase. Really, really cool miniatures. Amazingly painted. Very complicated. You can see casts, right? So awesome. This little shadow box one here is really neat. You got a whole diorama going on in there. So cool. And of course I had to get the mice with grapes and cheese. I really like that one. Yeah, very awesome. It was Uncle Adam at the Army Painter booth. It's really nice to see Army Painter here. When I went to AdeptiCon 2 years ago, actually Army Painter wasn't at AdeptiCon. They actually were a part of somebody else's booth, and they had a few boxes, but there was really no representatives that I could see when I went through. There was no one there. This year there was a lot. Oh, there was JP Got Rockets. I just passed him. I talked to him later on. Actually, the last couple of days of the con, I got to spend some time with JP, which is awesome. So I'm here, stopped at Badger Games booth. They actually kind of like have an inner store. It's a kind of a neat booth. You go around, you walk in there, and you have stuff for Saga in there. I actually went in here looking for potential Napoleonic miniatures, and also I needed some just crates and stuff, and extra cargo, and I found some in here which were really awesome. I picked up. There's some Napoleonic miniatures there. Just stuff from, they have different game sets and stuff in here, and all sorts of cool little knickknacks in here, so you can spend hours looking through all the cool stuff in here. They have these, it looks like a painting competition of different orcs or something. I don't know exactly what was going on here, but I filmed it. It kind of looks like the orc actually that came in the swag bag, actually. And then they have a whole bunch of samurai, and again, this is very tempting. That's like probably the next historical thing that I want to get involved in is samurais. It's just so neat. I can see building whole armies and building castles. The terrain alone is, really cool. And then they had Masters of the Universe Battleground. It's like a tabletop wargaming. Oh, bad. I heard that that's maybe potentially coming back. Is from He-Man and stuff like that. I don't know. So here's another booth with large casted miniatures. This is more of a Dungeons and Dragons kind of feel to it. But they have all sorts of different, you can see all these cool, look at all the cool different miniatures they have. Like I said, this vendor hall, you get lost in here for hours and hours and hours and still not see everything. There's just so many things to look at. Just so many cool products. But I was expecting to see He-Man in here, that's for sure. Masters of the Universe. I didn't even realize they had a game that came out, but I heard that there potentially might be like a new movie or something like that. I just thought that was just a rumor. But now that I see a game come out for it, well, maybe. Maybe it's not a rumor. This is a Malifaux booth. And they have a whole bunch of cool miniatures in their little showcase here too. And another company that has really awesome miniatures. There's so many different companies here that have amazing miniatures for their game sets and rule sets. You just love checking them all out. But you can see I got as close as I possibly could so you guys could see some of these. These are so cool. My camera doesn't do it justice, so you have to see them in real life, in real person. Yeah, they're just so amazing. Nice variety. Different types of miniatures. And I snapped a few pictures of them too as well. Looks like this is the other side of the Reaper Bones, and they have this giant sailing ship which is so badass. I really like the paint job on it. I might be stealing that idea for maybe a Blood and Plunder ship. Ripping off that paint job. Because I like that rustic old red look. It looks really cool. I really like that ship. And here's some of their kits. I think they had the castle on the reverse side when I first went by the booth, and these are the boxes for those. Yeah, large casts. Reaper Bones there. Really cool. So this is the front of the Reaper Bones booth. This is where they do the free painting. For anybody, just sign up and do some painting. So this is the Trench Crusader displayer that everybody was stopping at to look at. It's pretty amazing. Multi-leveled, multi-tiered, kind of like a giant hill. But it looks kind of organic, like it's an old tree or something, which is really cool. There's some kind of swampy moat down the bottom there. Old wrecked up windmill. Very cool display. Yeah, it was definitely an eye catcher. I couldn't not walk by there without inspecting that closely. Very cool. Monster Fight Club. It's nice to see them here. That was another company I was looking for the last Adepticon 2 years ago. I really like their easy to tear down terrain. It's just plastic tops and stuff, plastic rocks. You can just throw them in a box and bring them wherever you want. That's something that the foliage of the trees and stuff like that, I'm just looking for something hard plastic that you can bring and throw in a box would be a lot easier. Monster Fight Club does pretty cool stuff like that. Make it easy for you to do a game on the road, I would say, on the road. So they had this kind of, I don't know, it's like a shipping yard kind of connected game thing going on here. I don't know, it was kind of crazy, but it looked cool. Very cool. There's some more cosplay for you. This is Fallout. I think the pictures of that display is a destroyed train. But they have some expansions for Fallout. New miniatures. There's a Fallout guy. Had to get a picture of that. Here's some of the miniatures. This is one of the game tables. Kind of like a zombie raid kind of thing. And then here's some more miniatures from Free Blades. And they have a wide range of different factions and stuff in the showcases. I took a good look at this 2 years ago too, and I think they've even expanded more from that time frame. So many more miniatures, and look at all these different varieties of different things you can get. It's so cool. So many cool miniatures here. Another thing that potentially I'll look into. I think they had a demo table 2 years ago. But I think maybe they did. I don't know. Again, it was quite crowded in there. I wanted to do a whole film through like I did last time with my gimbal, but it was impossible. It was just too many people in there. So I did a lot of little bits and bites of the tables, and I kind of just put it all together as best as I could. Here's some close-up shots of those Free Blades display cases. Some of the miniatures in them. You can see the wide range of miniatures. That's really neat. Well, I think that one was a ghost. Al got some elves. Yeah, really neat. So now we're kind of working my way slowly but surely over to Games Workshop. This is on the other side of the vendor hall.
Keep walking.
We've had some people just hang it up in the shower and rinse it off there too as well. Gotcha.
So I kind of went over to the Marvel Crisis booth. I tried to get in pictures of the showcases because they also have their own painting competition. But she was jam-packed and I didn't have much time to go back to it. I never actually went back to film anymore, but you can kind of see what's going on on the edge, the fringe. But the showcases are full of really cool Marvel characters painted up, which is really neat. There's Thor. We meet again. Thor and Thor's hammer. And this is on the other side. There was some really cool casted terrain here that I stopped and took some pictures of, which are really neat. They're all primed up, ready to go to paint up, which is really, really neat. All right, heading over to the Games Workshop booth. Greeted by Space Marine And here's all the gameplay happening on this side of the vendor hall. Some close-up images of the Space Marine. Pretty cool. Big statue is right here, right in the actual gaming center this year. I think last time I went, they had it out in the hallway. But now it's moved into the game hall. They have way more space in here now. It makes sense to have some of these big things in here. So I'm just heading on over to the Games Workshop booth and check out some of the stuff there. I have a little bit of coverage of it. I did film some of the really cool miniatures. Well, I certainly felt this year that the Games Workshop booth was much more open. It was easier to access it and get in to look at the product. Years past, usually it's really tight net, roped up. You can't even get in there. And you have to wait in line just to shop, just to wait another line to pay. It was kind of crazy. So actually it wasn't too bad this year. And I was able to freely walk around the booth. I had these really cool statues right at the front there of Space Marines. And I did capture some of the miniatures that were in the booth. I would say in years past they've had more displays. But not too bad. They had a few things to look at, and I made sure to record them. But definitely cool miniatures. Games Workshop always has neat stuff to look at, cool miniatures. They always have them really well painted in their showcases for you to look at. So I kind of went off the beaten path a little bit, and this is kind of in tournament play. But these tables are so epic and large, I just figured I had to record them for Warhammer. They're just giant. These ones are individual tables, but you'll see in a minute here. I actually run across a table that's just like one game table for the whole run. And it has several different elements to it, which is kind of crazy. So you can kind of you're playing through levels of the same game table. I did notice that when in the Warhammer game tables, they always have a army displayer at the end, kind of some kind of display with their army posted on it with a banner of some sort. It's just kind of neat, kind of different.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I noticed that in the last AdeptiCon too, but I'm not sure if that's something they do just to display it or I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar, but I just thought it was kind of cool. And here, this is just one big long game table. I think you start from one base and you work your way across this entire field in one giant match. It seems like a very maybe campaign kind of style gameplay. I'm only guessing. I don't know. It just looks like something like that, where you can play right through the entire table. As you can see, I go along here. It's just one big long game table. Yeah, I'm commenting on it because I've never seen one like this. I've seen pirate games actually. They use several different tables, but.
Giant game.
All right, so then I went back to the vendor hall and was at the War Machine booth. They had a kind of a demo table here of some of the miniatures, a Steam Forge, and they had several in the showcase here. And I did film some of the miniatures in the showcase and some pictures of it. If you remember 2 years ago at AdeptiCon, they had one small showcase. This year they had several showcases showing off all the different new miniatures and really cool. So it was really nice to see, and I was able to record some of that as best as I could. Unfortunately, I have glass shelves with glass, so when you're trying to film it, all you get is the spotlights of the roof above. But I did take some still photos here. You can see some of them a little bit better. They're really neat, really, really cool models. I really like this set. All right, so now we're at Turbo Dork. And I had to stop here because there was a giant painted Cobra Commander in Turbo Dork paint, which is really cool. And then they had some other beasties in the showcase here painted with their product. I've bought some of their product, and I do like some of their paint colors. You know, especially if you're looking for some kind of brightness to it, they definitely fit the bill. Their line of paints is really good. I'm going back Army Painter again. Yeah, some of these things are kind of mishmashed together depending on which I filmed it. Like I said, I couldn't go through the entire booth, the entire show. I mean, going through everything. So this is Huge Miniatures. I always want to do a big shout out for them. I really appreciate them sending me some products to try out on the channel. I did definitely pick up some product from Huge Miniatures. I love their tufts and their flocking, and a lot of their products I use on the channel. So I was kind of actually short on a few of those really odd-shaped ones that I like. And so I had to pick some up before I left. They had some winter tufts in here. It's funny, I did some winter... I actually used their tufts and painted them winter, but they actually have some pre-mated ones, so I got some different ones. And then I wanted to show you the hallway. There's lots of vendors in the hallway as well, not just in the vendor hall, and they kind of carried through. So that's pretty much it for this episode. I'm going to kind of do 3 episodes this time. So this one, it covers, you know, the vendor hall mostly, and kind of the swag bag and the meet and greet. Next episode is Golden Demon and tournament play. And then eventually I want to do one of just Milwaukee. All right, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.